Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America. And hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And today is pretty exciting because we now have 2 new catalogs that have gone live. And I'm going to take a minute here to show you some things before I get into my project for today. So, I know people think that maybe we have just finished up the most wonderful time of the year, but if you're a Stampin' Up! Stamper, really, January, February, celebration is the most wonderful time of the year, I think, because with a minimum purchase, you get to choose any of these lovely exclusive products out of this brochure. And some of them coordinate with items in this new mini catalog. Obviously, you can mix and match with other sets and products in any of the catalogs or online, but they are super cute and only available during celebration and only while supplies last. This is the first thing I got, was this stamp set and die bundle. And on my blog, you'll see some projects coming up in the next few weeks that I have already made with these. I really liked this heart-shaped wreath, and then this die, which does not cut out that, but actually layers up on it to coordinate pretty neatly. So I've played around with that quite a bit. You can see some, there's an example of how they've used it, layering up together. And yeah, I like this one that has the corners. Anyway, there's a lot of neat products in here. The other great thing about Celebration is not only with a minimum purchase do you get to choose any of these products. Oh, and here's another product I've already gotten. This Bloom Impressions Designer Series paper. Hi, Paula. Thanks for joining me. If you are here with me, please do say hello, either as you come on live or if you're watching on replay. I'd love to know that you've joined in. So here are the 2 sides of each sheet. I love it when we have little patterns. I love it when we have things that coordinate, same colors that coordinate on the different sides. You'll see why in my project coming up here. This one coordinates. That one coordinates. Some coordinate better than others. That one coordinates really nicely. This one, not so much, but that's okay because it'll coordinate, like those will coordinate with each other. And these will coordinate with each other. Anyway, they'll all coordinate eventually, but or they can be used singly. So it's all good. So that's another Celebration option. And again, 12 by 12, which is my favorite over the 6 by 6. Find a good place to put that out of the way. Oh, so what I was saying was, in addition to the get a free product with a minimum purchase, and of course, if you do your minimum purchase a couple times over, you get to choose multiple items. But if you have a big enough order, which would be here in Australia, it would be $500. Yes, $500. You get to choose, in addition to your regular Stampin' Rewards, you get an extra $50 worth of free products. So wow, lots and lots of free stuff. And if you choose to join my team during Celebration, not only do you get to customize your starter kit with $235 worth of product for only $169, but there are 2 bonus options. One is to get this exclusive stamp set and your choice of 2 Stampin' Right marker assortments, or again, an additional $51 worth of your choice of product into your starter kit. So lots and lots of free stuff during Celebration. Again, most wonderful crafting time of the year. So there's that. Feel free to reach out and ask me if you have any questions about Celebration. Here's how to do that. I'm at nancysniftynotes.com. That's where my blog is. That's the very next blog post will be the card that I make today. Or reach out to me by email, Nancy at nancysniftynotes.com. Happy to answer questions about any of these things that I'm talking about. And then our mini catalog went live here in Australia yesterday. If you're in North America and Europe, I believe that would be today, the 7th. And this will be good through April, actually May 5th. And of course, the closer we get to May 5th, the more likely it is that something will sell out from here. But regardless, there is lots of great stuff in here. Whether you like to do kits or the mix and match ephemera, 12 by 12 scrapping, traditional scrapbooking, card making, all kinds of great stuff. I've got my eye on this suite. Again, bright colors. The ocean stuff is kind of neat. I'm not really an ocean person. I'm really looking at this Floral Delight because it's got lots of nice pieces to it. And I like the paper and the bright yellows. Lots of interesting stuff. Lots of interesting, this is a stamp set by itself. It does not have a coordinating set of dies, but they are reversible. Yeah, kind of lots of fun things that you can pair, like with the paper that I got in Celebration. It'd be fun to pair up some of these things. I've been seeing demonstrators have been able to pre-order for the last month, and I've seen all kinds of interesting samples of things. Another set of decorative masks. So I didn't jump on and purchase lots and lots of stuff out of here. I did purchase this beautiful Bokeh suite, and that's what I'm going to be playing with today. But I want to show you one more thing first, because we also have some online exclusive papers, and I wanted to show you one of them that I went ahead and purchased. Yes, I agree, Mom. Liberty Fabrics on those botanical papers. So this is, what they did was they took 3 very popular designer series papers and they changed up the colors and reissued them in different colors. And so I'm going to show you, that's the front and the back of, these are the Night of Navy pages. And there, I like those. And then this is Lost Lagoon, I believe. And again, these are nice, like these big flowers you can cut out and then put on other things, or just use the sheet as they are. I like the different patterns. Again, I'm really into the tone on tone on each side where it's usable, where you can have both sides of the same sheet of paper showing. And again, I'll show you that in this card that I'm about to make. Sorry, my words are getting twisted around, but I know what I mean. Hopefully you'll figure it out too. So that's another one of the new designer series papers that's available online now. And again, find a good place to put this out of the way. Where did I put the last one? I don't even know. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the beautiful Bokeh suite has this lovely butterfly stamp set, and coordinating dies. There were so many dies and big enough dies that I had to put them on 2 sheets. And there are outline dies that go around the butterflies. There are a couple of sentiment die cuts for labels. And then a couple of dies that, sorry, I cannot talk today. A couple of dies that cut out shapes that you can layer up. And there's also, the dies are part of a hybrid embossing folder. I'm not going to use the embossing folder on a project today, but I do have one on the blog that's coming up. But hybrid really just means that this die latches onto this large butterfly, and if you put them through together, it embosses and then will cut out this big butterfly from your sheet of paper. So that's a really cool thing to use for some projects, which I haven't done yet, but I will. Yeah, and then there's paper, and it's 6x6, which you all know is not my favorite, and I really wish they'd stop doing that, but that's okay. But again, it's double-sided, and some of them work well together. Some of them, like that, works really well together. That one works okay together. That one works really well together. Sometimes you just want even just a subtle difference. That one, not the look I'm going for. And then that one's just straight balmy blue, and that works well together. So I've pulled out a couple, lots of great things I can see doing with this paper. I like the bokeh effect. And if you don't know, bokeh is, it actually comes out of photography, and it's this effect that you get when the sun daffles through and the way it shows up, and you get these kind of fairy light effect. And over the years, I've cut masks out of sheets of acetate and sponged on varying, light amount of white and darker amount of white, and moved it all around to make that effect. And they've started making some papers that way, and this whole suite revolves around that and the butterflies. So this die is designed to cut out but keep the butterfly attached and be a flap. So when I get a die that isn't, a straightforward outline die or a shape die, I like to play with a piece of, this is retired cardstock, and so I just put it through and played with it once to get a feel for how it works. And let me see if I can get this so you can see it clearly. So there is a little score line on each side here, and that is supposed to line up with the score line, either the edge of your paper or the score line on your card base, so that you get it aligned just right. So the first thing I did was on a piece of retired cardstock, I just did that to see how it goes. Now, you could then cut, I'll even show you. You can just snip along the score. Like that. And you've got something like that that you can play with. If you could make that, cut that off on a smaller piece and hook that, there's a card front. So you could just adhere that on the back. Let's say this were maybe the same color, maybe not. And again, you could trim that down in there if you wanted and glue that onto the back. Again, I would just make it like a 1/2 inch, 2 centimeter strip and adhere that onto the back and have that flip. And then you could decorate this underneath here too, and then have a card inside. There's all kinds of things you can do with that. But then I pulled out another piece of retired, I think that's Sahara sand. I retired cardstock to make a base, cut and added some retired designer series paper. And what I did was I just glued around the edge and cut it out with the die through the designer series paper and the cardstock. And then I flipped the designer series paper over and glued it onto the butterfly. And then I cut out these 2 butterflies and the thorax and just layered them up like that. So now I have a card with all kinds of layers on it that will go flat into my envelope. And I can put a sentiment on there and embellishments and the whole bit. But that's sort of my proof of concept for this idea that I had. And now I can do it out of some real papers, current papers. So I pulled out these 2, and originally I thought I was just going to use this one. And again, I'm just going to have that edge showing. So I'm trying to figure out where I would do it and what I would have showing on the other side, which is, again, because I'm trying to flip that over, I'm like, what looks really good. And I know there are ones that are really, really good there, and I may just go ahead and pull one out. I'm going to a crafting weekend at the end of the month, and there are 10 of us, and we're doing a shoebox swap, and I'm thinking about doing this, and so I want to be sure that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so if there are 8 of each, I'm going to go ahead and use one. Because I don't mind having 2 different colors, but I do want it to work well for them. And I really don't want to buy another pack of paper for it. How's that? So we're going to do some stuff with this fresh freesia piece. And I think that's going to work nicely. And I'm going to go ahead and do it on this piece of basic white. This is basic white thick, actually. And I'm just going to put some glue around the edge. And I'm lining up this edge and this edge. And now I can come in with my trimmer. Make that really nice and flush And it should be not glued down in the center there. See, there's one reason I don't. You wind up with a lot less random scraps when you have 12 by 12 instead of 6 by 6. It's more efficient for card making. Let me put it that way. I think it's more efficient for just about everything, but who am I to tell Stampin' Up their business, right? So we've got the card base. I'm putting it on my platform here. And I'm going to bring in this die. And I'm looking for two things. I'm looking to have those scores on the score of the card, and I'm looking to get it evenly centered. And I'm going to bring in some of my Post-it tape to keep it in place. And run that through. Hi, Gladys. Glad you could make it, late or not. Yeah, Paula, I like your enthusiasm for the papers and the colors. That's my thing, colors and textures. And that's why I got into it. I've said before, but for those of you who don't know, I did play around with quilting briefly for the same reason. Colors, textures, patterns, putting things together. But with small kids, this was easier to do have something completed in a small amount of time, which I appreciated. So I got stuck into this and haven't left. Okay, so now that comes right out. There's my card base. That pops out and is discard. So there's my base with my butterfly. And I could go back in and add glue, but I don't think I'm gonna have to, to glue these down, especially if I don't go pulling them up. I probably don't need to do any of that. A little stickiness oozed out there. And then so this one is really a pretty close match, but not completely, especially because of the Calypso coral popping out there. So what I'm going to do for a minute is play with what I'm going to put to layer it up. I know I'm going to do a white one. So let me go ahead and cut another white butterfly. Get a piece of cardstock here. I'll get that cut over here. So Gladys, did you get a lot any of you, did you get a lot of snow in the U.S.? We've been enjoying kind of a wild range of weather here. We were up over 100 on Sunday. And on Monday, I'm not sure we got to 72. For those of you in the States, that would be what? 39 and 20, 21. It's just crazy extremes. Okay, so there's that one. Half an inch palette, that's all, huh? I know they got clobbered in the DC area. Now I could do just that, but I think the other layer is good too. Questions, questions, what should I do? So they say it's Calypso Coral, but that's really strong. That's too orange. What if I go a different direction? I tell you, I'm pussyfooting around because what I really want to do, in many ways, and I may just go ahead and bloody do it, is a sheet of vellum in there. I don't know why they retired the vellum. I don't know anybody who's happy about the fact. Okay, having done that, I have also had another thought, so I'm going to cut yet another out of white. And let's play with this. Looking to see if I have one already. I don't see. I'm looking for a blending brush. Don't think I already have one in Calypso Coral, so I am going to do this one. Because I want some Calypso Coral, but I don't want it as dark as the cardstock actually is. So I'm thinking this could be a good. So solution. And that it was worth a try. So let's see. Plowed late this afternoon. Good. And did you get about 7 or 9 inches, Mom? Yeah, see that picks up that color without being like that. It keeps it kind of ethereal the way everything else is on here. Yes? Touch more down here, maybe. Again, I haven't gone back and re-inked the brush at all from that first inking. Yeah, that's working better. I'm waiting to glue everything down until I have a pretty good idea of everything. Just to be sure, since the ideas are coming as I'm creating. I want to do a middle. This actually has some adhesive sheet on the back, which is a good thing. And I'm okay with going a little bit darker. Yep. Okay, and where's my stamp set here? I'm liking that. I don't... So, coming back. Using my bone folder to get a little curve on there. Trying to decide if I want to stamp speckles on there, but I don't think so. There's enough. So this is what some of my Stampin' friends would do, so let's try it. So I'm just taking the brush tip and flicking it from the cap. Some people use their finger. I know Shelley Gardner, co-founder of Stampin' Up, she uses her finger a lot of times, but then I'm scrubbing ink out from under my fingernail all day. And I have protected all of my pieces by putting this used grid paper down. I'm going to go once this direction, I think. There we go. Let's see if you can see that. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining me. Waiting for the... Oh. Yep, you can see it a bit. Okay. Yeah, there we go. You know what we're going to do to this one? Any guesses? Did you say Winkostella? You're right. Winkostella. We're just going to go for all of the tricks here. Ooh, and I have a die stuck to my watch band. I'm just going kind of quick and dirty here. This is adding glittery shimmer. Again, I'm not sure if you guys can pick up on that. Not crazy about the extra antennae, yeah. Can always trim those off. Leave that and trim those off. And off of there. Absolutely could do that. Not a bad idea. Let's try it. Got kind of mangled. See how that goes. Okay. So let's get some gluing done. So I'm going to put glue all along the thorax and on the tips of the antenna there. And align that up. Fortunately, they did make it actually symmetrical, yay. And if I can stop bumping it. And I'm going to come in and do some curling on there. There's that. And then this one, again, dots of glue right along the body. And there's that piece. And there we are so far. Oh, yeah, I'm glad I did the speckles there. I see what you guys can see here. That just, yeah. Now, my default is always to go to the birthday. So there we go. And I think I'm going to go ahead with the Highland Heather. This is Fresh Freesia, Calypso Coral, and I did Highland Heather for that. I'm going to do Highland Heather for the sentiment. Bring in the die that came with the set. I don't think, yeah, the short one isn't going to cut it. Cut that out and be right back. Wow, that's kind of crooked. Yeah, not happy with that. Take two. So I have a zillion of these strips because every time I cut down basic white into layers to go, you know, to layer down, I'm left with these. But they are often just right for things like this. Yeah, I like that better. I could do it there, or I could do it there. And you know what? I'm going to cut another one of these because I think I'm fine with getting rid of the antennas on that one, but I think I want the antennas on this one. So you're really seeing it all, warts and all. There we go. I like that better. Can't tell you really. It's kind of like this layer is a shadow of the butterfly, and yeah. Okay, and so we said that down there. I'm going to bring in some mini dimensionals. And then I can leave that totally blank, or I may do that. see what I've got here. I like those with it. Some of them are a little more orangey than others. Which is a good thing, I think. Trying to see where things are, how things are. I don't like where anything is. This is where, I always get hung up here. You're probably screaming at home, just put it there. Further apart. Mom's going to dinner, good. Eat dinner. This is good. And I've got someone at my door, so I'm going to have to cut this short. I may play with those a little bit more. But thank you for joining me. You'll see the final result on the blog if I change it up any from this. And I will not see you next week because I will be in Tasmania with Glenn. But I will see you in 2 weeks. Join me then. Thanks.